Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to live a life of lasting success, fulfillment, and clarity, you must develop the habits of the mind that keep you sharp. Jim Rohn often said, success is something you attract by the person you become, and who you become is shaped not only by what you do, but also by how you think. Today, I want to share with you 3 mental habits that will keep you sharp, no matter your age, no matter your profession, no matter your circumstances. These habits are timeless. They sharpen your focus, fuel your growth, and give you an edge in life. 1. The habit of daily learning. If you stop learning, you stop growing. And the moment you stop growing, you start declining. Jim Rohn always emphasized the value of personal development. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Spend time each day feeding your mind. Read a book, listen to an audio program, take notes from a mentor. Even 30 minutes of learning compounds over years into wisdom that separates you from the average. A sharp mind is not built in one day. It's built in daily layers of knowledge. Think of it this way. Every page you read, every idea you study, every conversation with a wise person, it's like sharpening your blade. The sharper your blade, the more effectively you cut through life's problems. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with the first mental habit that will keep you sharp for life, the habit of daily learning. If there is one discipline that separates the average from the extraordinary, it's this one. Jim Rohn used to say, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Think about that. School may get you started, but it's what you learn after you leave the classroom that will determine how far you go. Learning is a lifelong investment. Daily learning is not about passing exams, earning degrees, or getting a certificate for your wall. It's about sharpening your mind every single day so you stay relevant, adaptable, and wise. Imagine carrying a knife. If you use it daily and never sharpen it, over time it becomes dull. It still looks like a knife, but it no longer cuts effectively. That's how many people live their lives. They stop learning after school, they stop stretching their thinking, and eventually they find themselves ill-prepared for the challenges of life. But the person who sharpens the blade of their mind every day, even just a little, becomes unstoppable. That person stays sharp, no matter their age, their environment, or their circumstances. The compound effect of learning. Here's a powerful truth. Knowledge compounds, just like money in an investment account. Learning grows with time. If you invest even 30 minutes a day in learning, over the course of a year, that's 180 hours of new knowledge. Multiply that by 10 years, and you'll be ahead of nearly everyone around you. Now here's the best part. Learning doesn't just give you information. It changes your identity. When you read books, study great minds, and expose yourself to new ideas, you're not just collecting data, you're shaping the person you become. As Jim Rohn said, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. And becoming better comes through learning. Books, the mindset's greatest tool. One of the best sources of learning is books. A single book can contain 10, 20, even 40 years of someone's life lessons compressed into a few hundred pages. Think about that. For the price of a lunch, you can sit down with some of the greatest thinkers, entrepreneurs, philosophers, and leaders in history. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, was once asked about the key to his success. He held up a stack of books and said, read 500 pages every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest. No wonder Jim Rohn always emphasized a personal library. He said, miss a meal if you have to, but don't miss a book. So here's the challenge. Start reading every single day. It doesn't have to be for hours. Even 15 minutes before bed can change your life over time. Choose books that expand your vision, sharpen your skills, and stretch your thinking. Learning from people. But books are only one way to learn. You can also learn through people. Mentors, coaches, colleagues, even strangers, all of them carry lessons you can absorb if you're paying attention. Jim Rohn often said, each person you meet knows something you don't learn from them. That's the power of being a student of life. Ask questions. Be curious. If you admire someone's success, don't just envy them, study them. Ask, what did they do differently? What habits did they build? What mindset carried them through? Sometimes one conversation can shift your entire direction in life. Learning from experiences. And let's not forget the greatest teacher of all, life itself. Every experience, good or bad, carries a lesson. The key is to extract it. Many people go through hardships but never stop to ask, what can I learn from this? They suffer twice, once in the moment and again in the wasted lesson. A sharp mind does not avoid problems. It studies them. It asks, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to grow? Think of Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. But he said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the mindset of a learner. Every failure is a stepping stone. Every challenge is a classroom. Practical ways to build the habit. Now you might ask, how do I build the habit of daily learning? Let me give you some practical steps. Schedule learning time. Don't leave it to chance. Put 30 minutes on your calendar every day. Morning, lunch, or evening. Choose a slot and protect it like gold. Carry a book or audio. Turn dead time into learning time. Waiting in line, driving in traffic, use audiobooks or podcasts. These moments add up. Keep a journal. Writing sharpens thinking. After reading or learning something, write down your insights. It helps you internalize the lesson. Teach what you learn. One of the best ways to lock in knowledge is to share it. When you teach others, you master the material. Surround yourself with learners. Join groups, masterminds, or discussions where growth is the culture. Iron sharpens iron. The difference between information and wisdom. But let me warn you, don't just chase information. Seek wisdom. In today's world, we're drowning in information. News, social media, videos, articles. It's endless, but not all of it sharpens your mind. Some of it dulls it. Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge correctly. That comes from reflection, application, and discernment. So don't just fill your mind with noise. Be selective. Feed it with what strengthens your vision, skills, and character. The rewards of daily learning. What happens when you make daily learning a habit? The rewards are immense. You can have clarity in decision making. You will be more adaptable to change. You will spot opportunities others miss. You will gain confidence in any room you walk into. And most importantly, you'll keep your mind young and sharp, no matter your age. Jim Rohn said, a good education will pay off for the rest of your life, but self-education will pay off for the rest of your future. Closing thought on daily learning. So let me leave you with this. Don't just get through the day, get from the day. Every book, every conversation, every experience has something to teach you. The question is, are you willing to learn? Develop the habit of daily learning, and you'll never run out of sharpness, creativity, and wisdom. You'll be prepared for opportunities, resilient in setbacks, and unstoppable in your journey of growth. Because the sharper your mind, the brighter your future. 2. The habit of reflection, Soul 1. Knowledge without reflection is wasted. Many people read, but few take time to think. Jim Rohn would often journal, asking himself questions like, what did I learn today? How can I apply it? Where did I fall short? Reflection helps you connect the dots. It prevents you from repeating mistakes and allows you to grow from your experiences. So at the end of each day, don't let just collapse into bed. Spend 10 minutes writing down your thoughts. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I do better tomorrow? What am I grateful for right now? This habit of reflection will keep your mind clear, your lessons fresh, and your perspective strong. The second mental habit that keeps you sharp for life is reflection. If learning is about gathering knowledge, then reflection is about transforming that knowledge into wisdom. Without reflection, experiences pass by and lessons get lost. With reflection, every day becomes a classroom, every moment a teacher, and every setback a stepping stone to growth. Jim Rohn used to say, "Don't just get through the day, get from the day." That simple phrase contains a lifetime of truth. Too many people simply live days, weeks, even years on autopilot. They go through routines, face struggles, enjoy victories, but never stop to ask what it all meant. The danger of such living is that you can grow older without ever growing wiser. Reflection is what prevents that. Reflection ensures you don't repeat mistakes, that you squeeze the value out of every experience, and that you live a life of depth rather than just duration. Think about it this way. A farmer plants seeds, waters the soil, and watches the crops grow. But the real work of harvest comes later, when he gathers what's been produced. Reflection is the harvest of the mind. You plant experiences, you water them with effort. But if you don't pause to gather the lesson, you miss the crop. Every day is full of seeds waiting to be harvested into wisdom. The question is whether you'll take the time to collect them. Reflection sharpens your awareness. It slows you down in a world that constantly pushes you to rush. We live in a time of endless distraction, notifications, emails, conversations, entertainment. Reflection is the quiet antidote. It's where you stop the noise and ask, what just happened today? What did I learn? Where did I succeed? Where did I fail? What can I do differently tomorrow? That pause, that questioning, that honest self-examination is what keeps the mind sharp. One of the best tools for reflection is journaling. Jim Rohn was a passionate advocate of keeping a journal. He said a journal is a gathering place for ideas, experiences, and lessons. It's your personal treasure chest. By writing down your thoughts, you capture them before they slip away. You give them form, and in doing so, you give yourself clarity. There's something powerful about taking a pen to paper and seeing your thoughts in front of you. It slows the mind, organizes it, and often reveals insights you wouldn't have discovered otherwise. Reflection also requires honesty. You can't sharpen your mind if you refuse to admit where you've been dull. Many people avoid reflection because they're afraid of facing their shortcomings. They'd rather stay busy than admit their mistakes. But here's the truth. Mistakes are only wasted when you don't learn from them. Reflection is where you confront yourself. Not to judge, but to improve. You ask, where did I fall short today? Not to condemn yourself, but to prepare yourself for tomorrow. Think of athletes. After a game, they review the footage. They don't do this to feel guilty about missed shots. They do it to understand what worked, what didn't, and how to improve. Life works the same way. Reflection is reviewing your game film. Without it, you keep repeating errors. With it, you adapt, grow, and sharpen your performance. There is also a spiritual depth to reflection. When you pause and look back, you gain gratitude. You notice blessings you might have overlooked in the rush of daily life. Gratitude itself sharpens the mind because it shifts your perspective. Instead of focusing only on what's wrong, you see what's right. Instead of feeling entitled, you feel humbled and thankful. Reflection makes space for gratitude, and gratitude keeps your spirit light and sharp. Reflection doesn't have to take hours. 10 minutes at the end of your day can transform your life. Sit quietly, close your eyes, or write in a notebook. Ask yourself simple but powerful questions. What did I learn today? What made me smile? What challenged me? How did I grow? What would I do differently if I could relive today? These questions, asked consistently, build wisdom over time. It's not about having all the answers right away. It's about building the habit of looking for answers. Another benefit of reflection is clarity. Have you ever felt confused, overwhelmed, or uncertain about your next step? Reflection clears the fog. When you process your thoughts, patterns emerge. You begin to see connections, solutions, and directions you couldn't see in the middle of the rush. Reflection is the pause that reveals the path. It also deepens your sense of meaning. Life is not just about doing, It's about understanding why you do what you do. Reflection connects your daily actions with your bigger vision. Without reflection, you may find yourself climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. With reflection, you make sure your steps align with your values and your goals. Let me share an example. Imagine someone who works tirelessly, chasing promotions, money, recognition. They never stop to reflect. One day, after years of effort, they reach the top of their career ladder, only to discover they sacrificed health, family, and happiness along the way. Success without reflection is often empty. But if along the journey they had paused and asked, what truly matters to me? Am I moving in the right direction? What am I sacrificing for this gain? Then they could have made adjustments before it was too late. Reflection protects you from climbing the wrong mountain. There's also a defensive benefit to reflection. The world is full of opinions, voices, and pressures. Without reflection, you can get swept away by other people's agendas. Reflection anchors you to your own. When you know who you are, what you value, and what you've learned, you become less likely to be swayed by every trend, fad, or critic. Reflection strengthens your inner compass. It's worth noting that reflection is not the same as overthinking. Overthinking is when you replay mistakes endlessly, drowning in regret. Reflection is constructive. It looks at the same events but asks, what's the lesson? How can I use this? Overthinking paralyzes you. Reflection propels you forward. That's the difference. So how do you practice reflection daily? Keep it simple. At the end of the day, before you sleep, ask yourself 3 questions. What am I grateful for today? What did I learn today? What will I do differently tomorrow? Those 3 questions alone, repeated consistently, will sharpen your mind more than most people sharpen theirs in a lifetime. If you want to go deeper, make journaling part of your ritual. Carry it with you. Write notes after a meeting, a book, a conversation, then revisit those notes weekly. You'll be amazed at the patterns you see, the insights you uncover, and the wisdom you gather. Reflection turns ordinary days into extraordinary lessons. It transforms mistakes into stepping stones, challenges into teachers, and victories into reminders of gratitude. Without reflection, you may live life, but miss its meaning. With reflection, every day becomes richer, sharper, and more purposeful. So remember this, don't let your days slip away unnoticed. Don't just go through life, grow through life. Take time to stop, to look back, to ask questions, to write, to learn, to adjust. Reflection is the habit that turns experience into wisdom, and wisdom is what keeps you sharp for life. 3. The habit of positive association, where your environment shapes your thinking. If you spend time with people who complain, you'll adopt their mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who dream, plan, and act, you'll be pulled higher. Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose carefully. Seek conversations that inspire you, relationships that challenge you, and communities that push you to grow." A sharp mind isn't just what you put in. It's also who you keep around you. Negative associations dull your edge. Positive associations keep you razor sharp. The third mental habit that will keep you sharp for life is the habit of positive association. Human beings are not isolated creatures. We are influenced, shaped, and molded by the people we spend time with. Whether we realize it or not, our environment plays a powerful role in determining how we think, how we act, and what we eventually become. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That statement is as true today as it was when he first spoke it. If you want to stay sharp, if you want to keep your mind clear and focused, then you must carefully guard who you allow into your inner circle, because your associations will either sharpen you like iron or dull you like rust. Spend enough time with people who complain, and you will soon start complaining yourself. Spend enough time with people who doubt, and soon their doubt will become your doubt. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who dream, plan, and execute, then their energy, their optimism, and their discipline will elevate you to new heights. The truth is, attitudes are contagious. You've experienced this before. When you're around someone who radiates negativity, you feel drained. When you're around someone who's excited about life, you feel lifted. That's no accident. Human beings are transmitters and receivers of energy. The people you allow closest to you are constantly transferring their mindset into yours. If you want to stay sharp, you must choose wisely whose mindset you are allowing into your system. Positive association doesn't mean you abandon everyone who struggles or everyone who hasn't figured it out yet. It means you must set boundaries. It means you are intentional about who has the loudest voice in your life. If a person only brings gossip, criticism, and cynicism, you can love them, but you don't have to make them your daily company. Your daily company should be the people who challenge you to think bigger, who encourage your growth, and who push you to live at a higher level. Consider the analogy of an eagle. An eagle doesn't spend time flocking with pigeons, not because pigeons are bad, but because pigeons are not built for the heights that eagles soar to. If you want to fly higher in life, you must be willing to adjust your company. Many people stay stuck, not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they refuse to separate from circles that are holding them down. Associations matter more than we care to admit. One way to measure your associations is to ask yourself, how do I feel after spending time with this person? Do I feel inspired, motivated, encouraged? Or do I feel drained, small, or doubtful? The people who leave you sharper are the ones you should seek. The people who leave you duller, you should limit. Jim Rohn was very direct about this. He said, some people you have to spend less time with. Some people you have to spend more time with. And some people you should spend no time with. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth. If your future matters, then your associations matter. There's also another dimension to this habit. It's not only about the people physically around you, it's also about the voices you listen to daily. In our world, associations happen through media, podcasts, books, videos, and social platforms. If you spend hours listening to angry voices, shallow entertainment, or endless negativity, don't be surprised when your thoughts reflect the same. But if you fill your time with mentors who inspire you, authors who challenge you, and leaders who call you to rise, then you'll find yourself thinking sharper and acting stronger. Association is more than physical proximity, it's exposure. And what you expose your mind to daily is shaping you, even if you don't notice it. Now, some people ask, but what if the people closest to me are negative? What if it's family, colleagues, or childhood friends? That's a real challenge. But the answer is not to cut them out completely. The answer is to manage your exposure. You may not be able to avoid certain people altogether, but you can decide how much influence they have. You can choose to set stronger boundaries, spend less casual time, and balance their energy by intentionally seeking positive input elsewhere. Your sharpness depends on your discipline in guarding your atmosphere. It's also important to remember that association is not only about receiving, it's about contributing. If you want to be around positive, uplifting people, then you must also bring positivity and growth to the table. People are drawn to those who inspire them. If you want to attract sharp company, be the kind of person who sharpens others, bring encouragement, bring curiosity, bring hunger for growth, and you will naturally attract people with the same spirit. This habit of positive association is not just about success, it's about longevity. A sharp mind is not only one that knows facts, it's one that remains hopeful, resilient, and strong in the face of life's difficulties. And when life gets tough, your associations will either pull you out of the pit or push you deeper into it. That's why it's not a casual decision. Who you allow into your mental space may determine whether you rise or fall. Think of history's greatest leaders, inventors, and visionaries. None of them did it alone. They had networks, mentors, peers, and communities that supported them. Even geniuses need association, because no matter how strong your mind is, the people around you either reinforce or erode it. If you want to stay sharp for life, make association a conscious strategy, not an accident. So how do you practice this habit? Start by identifying your 5. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with, whether in person or online? Write down their names. Then ask, are these 5 sharpening me or dulling me? If they're sharpening you, invest more in those relationships. If they're dulling you, create some distance. Then look for ways to add new associations into your life. Join a mastermind, attend seminars, listen to leaders, read biographies, connect with people who inspire you. It's not about cutting off everyone you know. It's about upgrading your circle intentionally. Your life will rarely rise higher than the expectations of your closest companions. If they expect little, you'll do little. If they expect greatness, you'll stretch to meet it. That's the invisible power of association. It works quietly, but its results are massive. 1 year of spending time with sharp, ambitious people can change your entire trajectory. 1 year of spending time with negative, small-minded people can derail your future. The difference is who you choose to listen to and who you allow close. So as you think about staying sharp for life, remember this truth: no one does it alone. The quality of your life will largely reflect the quality of your associations. If you want to be sharp, spend time with sharp people. If you want to think big, spend time with big thinkers. If you want to live with courage, spend time with the courageous. It's as simple and as difficult as that. At the end of the day, you have control. You may not choose every circumstance, but you can choose who you allow into your mental space. Choose wisely, because if you walk with the wise, you become wise. If you walk with the sharp, you stay sharp. And that one decision who you associate with may be the single most important choice you make for the rest of your life. So remember to stay sharp for life. Learn daily, reflect deeply, and choose your company wisely. If you apply these 3 habits, you won't just survive, you'll thrive. Your mind will stay fresh, your perspective will stay young, and your spirit will stay hungry. As Jim Rohn said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because when your mind is sharp, your whole life gets better. Thank you.